So here we are. We are in the beginning of Elvis's huge career, which in 1956, he recorded this song in January, and by April, it had been #1 on the charts. This boy was just a 20-year-old truck driver out of Memphis, Tennessee, and he turned everything, the whole music industry, on its ear, because he came out shake, rattle, and roll and all kinds of stuff. So I will say that this is one of the most, I would have to say, essential songs that really kicked off all of what rock and roll is all about. So this is OhioJimbo, and I'm going to show you how I play it. Now, it's not necessarily how Elvis played it or how anybody else has played it since. This is just how I play it, because I like to make songs really easy and keep them in E, A, and B, or any 3 chords, just so that it gets easy. So what we do is we start with these chords. Here's the E, so you put your index finger here, middle finger, and ring finger. That's the whole E. Now, you're going to probably, in some places, you might do a little bit of hammer on, but we're going to stick with just the E. Learn that chord. Now we go to the A, and that A is all 3 fingers are squished right there on the 2nd fret on that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. So that's how simple those 2 chords are, the E and the A. Stick with those 2, learn how to get between the 2 back and forth, and you're going to be able to play a lot of music with those 2. But here's the magic part of this. This is where Elvis sensed this from deep in Mississippi, and he says, I know what this is. That's that blues chord. The blues chord is B7. And B7, it looks complex, but it's really not. Once you get the complexity out of your mind and just sort of strum it and let your muscle memory take over, you're going to see that this chord is not only easy to play, but it's essential in so many songs, rock songs, which came from the blues bass fundamentals. So if you get the E, the A, and the B7, you are on your way to a myriad of songs, but the most important one we're talking about today is Elvis's Heartbreak Hotel. So if we just kind of get the strum going, you're going to be looking for a strum pattern, right? Find your strum pattern, and I always tell you this because I see people saying, yeah, go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. It may confuse you. Find what your rhythm is, because you kind of hear the song, right? But the way Elvis starts it, he kind of strums it, and he lets it ring. Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Just down at the end of the lonely street, that's Heartbreak Hotel. I'll be so lonely, baby. I'll be so lonely. I'll be so lonely, I could cry. So, you can see how that first E, strum it through, let it ring, and then start bringing those lyrics in. But for the most part, all you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing that E, then you're going to go to A, then you're going to go B7, back to E. That's the entire song. That's how easy it is. Now, the tricks are, when you got that E chord, which we learned that one earlier, that's the very first chord we were talking about, do what's called a hammer-on, which is take your 2 fingers off the strings. Now, I'm going to strum it. Doesn't sound right, but listen when you go, it just brings that E in. That's the whole fun part of that E chord. Now you can take your index finger. It does the same thing, but I think on this particular song, now when you're strumming and you got that E going, it doesn't matter if your fingers come off, because you can kind of. Now, from that E, to get to the A, you can just strum from the E and then lift and go to the A, and it's okay. But at the end of the E, right when you get to the end of the lyrics, you can kind of walk your middle finger up to the top string, this E string, which is actually the low one, and you kind of get a. So if you see it, it's open. That gets you right into the A. It sounds so cool. So, when you're in that A, before you go to the B, you can see your pinky fingers down here anyway. Take that E, and you can take your pinky finger and make that kind of a fun A chord. It's just fun to play around with those 3 chords. And if you can get in and out of all 3 of them, that's where it really gets to be fun. Let it be muscle memory. Let yourself can just sit there and you just kind of. And that's just a little bit of jamming. Not necessarily to the lyrics of Heartbreak Hotel, but it shows you once you start playing those 3 chords, you're really going to have a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you one last trick of those 3 chords, which is in the B7th. The B7th is a versatile blues chord. I don't know what these chords are. I just know that if you slide up 2 frets and you play it down, oh my gosh, that's bluesy, isn't it? So take the B7, slide up 2 frets, so your index finger is going to be in the 3rd fret. Isn't that cool? Now, I keep all the chords on the screen, and at the end of this, if you would, you can look down a little further into the video and you'll see all of these chords. And I'm going to try to have that B7th, but I'll explain it to you that it just slides up those 2 frets and then into E. But I'll show you the A, I'll show you the E. The hammer-on is really not a chord when you're strumming that. It just kind of, when you bring the fingers in, it makes it work. So I want you to try those 3 chords in every possible progression that you can. Just go in any direction. And then when you get back to it, so it's... So if your baby leaves you, you got a tale to tell. Just take a walk down the lonely street of Heartbreak Hotel. I'll be so lonely, baby. I'll be so lonely. I'll be so lonely, I could die. I'll be so lonely, I could die. I'll be so lonely, I could break right down and cry. That's so fun. So, you got Heartbreak Hotel in there someplace, but you learned a lot of the basic fundamentals of early rock and roll and some cool blues things. So between the E, A, and B, there's a lot to be had. You'll notice there's a lot of songs in there, and I'm saying short B, it's a B7th. But I just show you where your fingers will go. I put these chords here, so I want to show you how you can put your fingers on there. Now, whether you're doing an E this way or you use your other fingers, it doesn't matter. And some people, they will play these in a completely different way because they want to have the ability to come up to a bar. I just keep it down here because I love the first 3 frets. So, that's a fun little lesson for you, and hopefully you learned something from it. I don't really know all the chords, and I certainly can't sing, and I will tell you that you didn't pay much to watch this video, except your time, so you can't really yell too much, but I love the comments. People come in and they comment. I learn so much from you as you make comments to me, and if you would, please subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have the subscribers. I want to keep growing the channel. And the little bell down there, hit that bell too, because then you get alerted when I upload them. And if you like it, keep watching it. Watch it to the end. And one of the cool things I like to try to do, I'll put the chords that I'm using at the end of the video. So you can skip to the end of the video, look at the chords, pause them, strum through them, kind of get a little bit of a practice thing going. But this particular one will have all 3 chords on the screen. You can just pause that last screen and watch it and sit and try to play between all 3 of these in whatever order you want. And then you're going to find out that muscle memory just gets you playing. So, until next time, if I don't see you out there, I'll see you in here.